Lighten the day. Heaven is the destination, Jesus is the road.
If your faith feels more like a checklist than a blessing, you might be missing the heart of God. Let's see what Jesus does when rules get in the way of mercy. In Matthew 12, Jesus' disciples are hungry, so they pick some grain on the Sabbath. Instantly, the Pharisees pounce, "You're breaking the law." But Jesus isn't impressed by their legal nitpicking. He reminds them, even King David once broke ceremonial rules to meet a real need. And hey, the temple priests work on the Sabbath and nobody seems to mind. Then he drops the mic, "The Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath." Jesus isn't tossing out the Sabbath, he's restoring it, reminding us it's about mercy, not misery. Fast forward, in the synagogue, a man with a withered hand stands before him. The Pharisees try to trap Jesus again. Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath? Jesus points out their hypocrisy. They'd rescue a sheep on the Sabbath, but ignore a suffering person. So what does Jesus do? He heals the man. The lesson? God's rules are meant to bless, not oppress. Rituals never trump compassion. Jesus, the Lord of the Sabbath, invites us to find true rest, not in rules, but in Him. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, share, and follow for more.
Did you know Jesus didn't just heal in public? He often asked people not to spread the word. Why would God's chosen one keep his miracles quiet? Let's find out. In Matthew 12:15-21, Jesus knew the Pharisees wanted him dead. But instead of fighting back, he quietly withdrew. Not because he was scared, but because he followed God's timing, not the world's. Even as he stepped back, people flocked to him. And what did Jesus do? He healed them all. But then, he told them, "Don't make me known." Why? Because Jesus wasn't chasing fame or headlines. He was here to fulfill God's plan, serving humbly, with compassion. Matthew then points us to a prophecy from Isaiah. God's chosen servant would come gentle and just, not shouting, not crushing the weak, but caring for the broken. A bruised reed he will not break, a smoldering wick he will not snuff out. That's the heart of Jesus. His mission wasn't just for one nation, but for all. His kingdom spreads with mercy, not might. So, if you feel weak, know this. Jesus won't crush you, he restores. And if you follow him, advance his kingdom with humility, mercy, and hope for everyone. That's the Servant King's way. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, share, and follow for more.
What if your words could reveal your heart, and even your destiny? Let's unpack one of Jesus' boldest moments in Matthew 12. Jesus meets a man tormented, blind and mute because of a demon. With a word, Jesus heals him. The crowd's amazed. Could this really be the promised son of David? But the Pharisees aren't having it. They accuse Jesus of using Satan's power. Hold up, Jesus says that makes no sense. Why would Satan fight against himself? No, this is God's Spirit at work. Proof that God's kingdom has broken into our world. Jesus isn't just fighting evil, he's overpowering it. Picture him tying up the strong man, Satan, and setting the captives free. Here's the clincher. Jesus says, "You're either with me or against me." No spiritual Switzerland here. Faith is total trust, not sitting on the fence. Then comes the warning. Don't call God's work evil. Blasphemy against the Spirit isn't a slip-up, but a hardened heart that keeps rejecting God's truth, even when it's right in front of you. That's the only sin that can't be forgiven, because it refuses the very one who forgives. And finally, Jesus says our words matter. They show what's in our hearts, good or bad. We'll answer for every careless word, so let's make them count. Here's the takeaway. Jesus is stronger than any darkness. Trust him, choose him fully, and let your words reflect the faith within you. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, share, and follow for more.
This is why asking for just one more miracle might actually be missing the point. In Matthew 12, Jesus flips the script on how we think about faith and proof. In Matthew 12:38-45, some religious leaders come to Jesus and say, "Show us a sign." But Jesus doesn't give them what they want. He calls them an evil and adulterous generation. They'd already seen miracles but still refused to believe. Instead, Jesus points to the sign of Jonah. Jonah spent 3 days in the belly of a fish. Jesus says he'll spend 3 days in the tomb. His resurrection, that's the ultimate sign. Jesus warns them. The people of Nineveh repented when Jonah preached. The Queen of the South traveled miles for Solomon's wisdom. But now someone greater than Jonah and Solomon is right in front of them, and they're missing it. On Judgment Day, their rejection will stand out even more. Then, Jesus tells a story. Imagine an evil spirit leaves a person, but the person's life stays empty. That spirit returns with 7 more. making things worse than before. Outward change isn't enough. Let Jesus fill your life today. Will you receive him?
Are you afraid you don't belong? Stop clinging to labels and start living in God's family. This is Jesus showing the true meaning of God's family. Want to know what that means? Here's what Jesus says about who truly belongs. In Matthew 12, verse 46 to 50. Picture this. Jesus is teaching a massive crowd. Suddenly, his mother shows up outside wanting to talk. Suddenly, his brothers show up outside wanting to talk. Someone interrupts him. "Hey, your family's here." But Jesus looks around and asks, "Who is my mother? Who are my brothers?" Then he points to his disciples and drops a truth bomb. "Here are my mother. Here are my brothers. Whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother. Whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my sister. Whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my mother." Wait, is Jesus rejecting his family? Not at all. It's not about bloodline, it's not about last name, it's not about tradition, it's about faith, living out God's will. So if you're following Christ and walking in obedience, you belong. Live out your faith and you'll always have a place to belong.
Where every broken heart finally heals. His kingdom's coming and it won't fade.